Good evening. This is a foreigner in the Philippines. Well, I had a letter a little while ago, and in the letter the man with great conviction and sincerity told me all of the reasons that I should not stay in the Philippines, and that in fact I should know very well that it was the wrong thing to do. Now this was based on his interpretation of how life should be led. He was married to a Filipina, and was very happy and living in the US. Well, I've lived in the US. I've been over 20 years in the US, and then I came to the Philippines. Now, was I stepping down when I came to the Philippines? I don't believe that I was. The fact is that one size doesn't fit all, and to assume, and his opening phrase was that he didn't want to cause offence, that he meant no offence, and believe me sir, no offence is taken, because I know that when someone has done what they believe is the right thing, then they want to impart that knowledge to others, especially those that they consider are doing the wrong thing. Now the tone of the letter was that it must be evident to me that if I have children, then it is really my responsibility to make sure that they have the best opportunities in life. Now the problem with this is that these opportunities, these get the best out of life phrases, are usually involved in the idea of material possessions. Now, if you've watched any of my videos, you must know that I don't consider that the amassing of material goods and stuff is the way to happiness. I haven't found that it's a way to happiness. Now, one of the reinforcing statements that my friend said was that he knew that what he was saying is correct because that's what he's done. Well, look at it, sir. You're giving advice that's based on the fact that it's what you did, and that is no evidence at all on the rightness of your decision if it was applied to other people. The fact is that there are many people who are living very successfully in the Philippines and are quite happy to be there. Now, right now, there's no other place that I am intent on being. I have no intention of going to the UK, where I would be just an old man living on social security in an apartment that will be provided for me by the government. No thanks. Right now I have an extremely fulfilled life, an extremely rewarding job. I don't need to earn a great deal of money. I have enough money coming in from the money that I have accrued in pensions. We have to live modestly, that's for sure. But the one thing that cannot be bought is happiness. And nowhere in America did I find that people were happier than in the Philippines. Now in America, it seems to me that the emphasis is more on material possessions. I lived for 2 years in a subdivision which was actually quite a well-to-do subdivision. People lived very well there, drove beautiful cars, lived in very, very nice houses. I was fortunate enough to be able to stay there. In a way, you could say that I was housekeeping or house sitting. Now, during the course of running this channel, I received many, many letters. Yours was one of a couple that I've received recently. The other author, the other subscriber that wrote to me, once again, a sincerely well put together letter that had a considered opinion, which was that I should move back to the UK, because if I moved back to the UK, my child, which we are presently planning, would have a better opportunity. And once again, it's based on the particular viewpoint of the writer, in the same way that your letter was. Your letter is based on your experience of having successfully had a life planned and gone ahead and done. In your particular case, your Filipino wife went, retrained, got a very good job. You said a bit tongue-in-cheek that you were embarrassed to say that she now earns more money than you. Well, isn't that the way it goes nowadays? Well, I also get other letters, and the letter that touched me the most in the last day is the one that I received from a man who is at the point where he is considering retirement. He is facing retirement, and his viewpoint was he was in America and he felt that he was slowly being strangled, and those were his words, by the regulation. And well, that was something that I felt too. The over-regulation, everything being so computerized, the difficulty of talking to someone with a pulse when you call a company. You might wait for 10 minutes only to find that you get cut off before you can actually speak to someone who lives and breathes. Up to then, you're listening to pre-recorded messages, and it depends how you view that. For me personally, I want to speak to a person. Right. Now, everything that I found in my life before I left Fort Myers was beginning to be over-regulated, and it was all part and parcel to a picture that was emerging of where my life was going. And I came and had a breath of fresh air when I got to the Philippines. Now, in as much as there is chaos in the Philippines, like I've been trying to get a driver's license since I don't know, for over a year, and I keep going in and saying, do you have my plastic yet? And they say, no, but let's give you a phone number so you can text, so that you don't have to come in and waste your time coming in next time. And then finally, a couple of weeks ago, I went in and I showed them the paper that I have, which is in lieu of my driver's license, and I was asked to wait, and I waited about 15 or 20 minutes, and then finally they came back and said, well, sir, you can just continue using this until July. Am I bothered by that? No, I'm not. I'm glad to be out of a loop of in a society where everything is computerized. Even though when expats come to live in this country, the one thing that they miss is that everything is computerized. Now, I don't want the Philippines to become like America or like the UK. I went to the UK some time ago, and I had a great vacation with my son and his fiancée. They treated me royally. It was wonderful to be spoiled so much. Going to shows, this is in London, where you can go to any one of a number of top shows in the West End. The entertainment is first class. You've got all kinds of halls, Festival Hall, Royal Palladium, just a tremendous number of places where you can go and have world-class entertainment, music, plays, musicals. And I wonder how much of that is taken advantage of when the people actually live there year-round. And I don't think it's that much. So I can do without all of that. I have world-class entertainment at my fingertips in CDs, if I wish, at any time of the day and night, and for no cost at all. So it's a case of when people tell other people about how they should live their life, it cannot just be based on the fact that they've navigated their life in a particular way. That's not how life is lived. The way life is lived is by making your own decisions, keeping your own counsel, being very careful about the people that you seek advice from, choosing your friends so that you have friends who are not toxic to you, so that you have friends who enhance the quality of your life. You do the things that bring you fulfillment. And this is a very important point. So many, where was it? I think it was America, where they coined the phrase, most men live lives of quiet desperation. You've got to go to America for some of the greatest phrases that describe the most horrific situations. Like, I've said this one before, the one that I love is collateral damage. And the other one, which you can hear Tom Cruise say, and various other dynamic actors doing government work on film, Mission Impossible, terminate with extreme prejudice, which actually means go murder somebody, but terminate with extreme prejudice. Isn't that wonderful? So, most men living lives of quiet desperation. That was how I felt. That was how the author of the letter that I've just received that said, I just feel like I'm slowly being strangled by all of the regulation. I actually spoke to an expat here in, at our favourite restaurant that we go to, Vidasto. I'm standing there and we're talking. I was a third member. I didn't know him. I was simply listening. And he was talking to somebody I knew, Mike. And he was talking about how he felt before he left America. And he said, I just felt like I was being made a criminal. He said, and I'm not. He said, I am what I am. I look like a hippie, wear my hair in a ponytail, and I don't fit the usual way of looking at what's called a respectable American. I don't fit that, and my right is to be as I want to be. And here I can do that. I can be that. I can be the person that I want to be. Now, does it take any courage to be here? Boy, I'll say it does. So, while everything can go wrong, it may well go wrong. Let me just read, though. I got this great book sent to me by Mr. and Mrs. O, and they're buried in the bottom of the various gifts that they sent us that we were able to share around, was a book. And I've already talked about this book because it's been a real revelation to me. Quotes that will change your life. A curated collection of mind-blowing wisdom by various people. And the one that attracted my attention today, and it pretty well sums up how I feel that you should live your life. The writer is Georgia O'Keeffe, who was a great artist, a world-renowned artist now, and her paintings are worth an awful lot of money. She was her own person, and she very much lived life the way that she wanted to do. She took herself off, I think, to the desert, and she lived there and was quite a lady. She said, "I've been absolutely terrified every moment of my life, and I've never let it keep me from doing a single thing that I wanted to do." So, was I scared about coming out here? Did I think that my meager pensions would see me through? Yeah, I was scared. Did I think that I would be able to create a wonderful life? Those questions never ever came up for me. The questions that came up for me were, can I stay here? Can I continue to live in America? Can I continue to live this kind of life? Am I fulfilled? Is life an adventure? Is life still an adventure? And all of those questions pointed me to leave. Somebody said to me, like it was an accusation, "You ran away." Damn right I ran away. I ran away from a life which was not what I wanted. And what did I do? I took a leap of faith, and I came to a place where I thought I could find something else that would reward me with the right experiences. So what it amounts to is, you must focus on what it is that you want to do. You don't, and when you think about coming out here, as so many people write to me about this, and their fears are health. Now, the thing about health is that anybody's health can go in the toilet at any time. Once you enter retirement stage, once you enter the stage of your life that you are in retirement, it can quickly go down the tubes. So, what will you do? You've got a few choices. You know, if you don't have the money to buy the kind of insurance that you need to be sick in America, then you better damn well go and live in Canada or in Australia or in the UK, where they'll take care of you. So now, what's the other best thing to do? Well, find a little place next to a hospital, so that when you do get sick, which with a mindset like this you are going to get sick, then they'll be able to whip you straight in and give you the bypass, or I don't know, kidney transplant, or whatever it is that you've got in your mind as the next thing that can go wrong. Excuse me. Then that will be the life that you are creating on a daily basis. You're creating that life. If you ever read or saw that famous video, The Secret, they talked about how what you are thinking is what is going to happen. And pretty well, it was oversimplified, but it does amount to the fact that the more that you focus on something going wrong, if you ever rode a bicycle and as you're riding along, you see a rock, you see coming up in your path, you see this rock, and it just seems like the more that you try to avoid it, the more likely it is that you'll hit it, or hit that pothole, or do something. The one that you're trying to avoid is the one that you will do. That's because you're focusing on that. Another man, famous Tony Robbins, mentioned about how he'd taken a high-speed driving course where he drove extremely fast cars which were very high-tech, and there was a particular place called where there was a wall, and you had to be able to navigate and avoid that wall. Well, the thing about these cars was that the driving instructor that was with you had a lever which he could lift one of the wheels off the ground on that car, which could throw you into some kind of out of control spin. And the instructor kept saying, focus on where you want to go. And then finally, because this wall is coming up and Tony Robbins was looking at the wall, the instructor finally grabbed his head and wrenched it around to where he was supposed to be going. And that was the lesson. Focus on what you want to do, where you want to go, how you want to live your life, and then damn well get on and do it. And I'm not blasé, I'm not super fit, I'm not super young, you may have noticed. But what else is there to do? I'm not looking for a place next to a hospital, and I don't have the emergency numbers all on my phone. I don't have a weapon with which to protect myself from the people that are going to attack me. I don't know whether they have a virus, you know, I don't know whether they have a serum for getting bitten by a cobra. And anyway, even if I was bitten, it's too far to get down to the road. I'd be dead there. Shall I not go out tonight? Shall I start looking under the desk? You can't live your life like this. It just doesn't make sense. If you've got a fear of heights, if you've got a fear of people, you have to face your dragons. You have to do what you have to do in order to get on with your life. Well, that's a little vent from me. Somebody described one of my talks as a long vent describing Zip. Sorry about that, Mr. Zip. Okay, this is a foreigner living in the Philippines. Bye for now.